Okay, all right. Good evening. My name is Terry Underwood, and this is Thursday, March 25th. And this is the Northborough Cultural Council. I'd like to welcome you all and start off by reading the message from Governor Baker's office about remote meetings. This open meeting of Northborough Cultural Council is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth. Let's see, of the outbreak of coronavirus. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, the town of Northborough has been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. All members of the Northborough Cultural Council are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows Northborough Cultural Council to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along with the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Okay, so the first item on our agenda is approval of the minutes from 3/11. And would anyone like to comment or make a motion? Everybody's muted, almost.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as stated.
Okay, great. And so Lori is first and Suzanne is second. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't take attendance. Haha. Almost got me on that one. Okay, so I'll take attendance. Okay, we have Beck and Selby.
Yeah.
And Suzanne and Lori
Yes.
and myself. So we are all present. And now I'm jumping back to the approval of the minutes. And I think Lori was first, Suzanne was second, and I will go around again. Beck.
I approve.
Selby.
Okay, help me out here. I read the minutes, but was I there or not? On 3/11, I don't think I was there.
You were not.
Yes. Yes, so please put me as an absentee and I have to abstain.
Okay, and let's see, you have to abstain. Okay, Suzanne. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Suzanne.
I'm in the same boat as Selby, though I was under the, I thought maybe we could vote anyway, even if we weren't present.
That's my understanding that you can, as long as you've seen the meeting.
I have,
So-
I've read them and I approve them.
Okay, and Lori?
Yes.
Okay, very good, and I do too, so,
Terry, if that's the case, I can give a yes to.
okay, so then it's unanimous for all of us that are here. Okay. Okay, and then the next item is the treasurer's report, and the treasurer isn't here this evening, so we will skip over that one. And to set the next meeting date, we already have our next meeting. It's the grantee reception. So I think we can skip over that one, which is April 8th. And then right on to the grantee reception planning. So is there any update on the RSVPs? I looked, I didn't see any more, but I didn't know if anybody had had any conversations with anyone.
No, I checked the form responses again. There were no new responses recorded, and I also don't have any new communication to report.
Okay, me either. Would anybody suggest is it appropriate to reach out again for something like this? I don't mean phone call, but I'm thinking email and just to help things along here. I guess that would be my suggestion if everybody's comfortable with that, reaching out to the people that we were assigned to, the grantees. Okay, and okay, so
Yeah, we can definitely send a kind reminder that we look
Yeah.
forward to seeing them. And if not, even if their answer is no, to RSVP on the form, so we know.
okay,
I think we should all do that, or one person should mass email everybody as a blank copy.
Suzanne, not everybody has every grantee's email this time. It wasn't populated on the table, but the people who were responsible for theirs, if we wanna create a document where we populate all the email addresses, that would be fine. Or
that's actually a really good idea. That was very helpful when I was reaching out to, at least for the virtual culture fest. It was just a central space, so if we ever need to reach out to these people in the future, super helpful.
my suggestion would be that you have the master table with the final RSVPs. Leslie's not here tonight, but I know you're aware of that table. If you could insert a column there for emails, and then we can put in our grantees email there, then we'll have a whole list to go like really quickly.
I'll do that, and I'll put that on the shared drive. I'll
Yeah.
add I'll add Leslie, because I happen to know her email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a
Awesome.
really good idea.
But
Okay,
we can still contact our own three.
So do you-
Unless somebody's going to do all of them. So, but I didn't hear who was going to do all of them.
what do you guys suggest? I don't mind sending out an email that says, hey, I don't know if that will get rejected because it will look like a mass mailing for some folks or not.
My preference is that in the past too, we kept kind of the lines of the communication the same, whoever was the initial contact. So the grantee would, communicate with them, and it just makes it less confusing than seeing two different names or whatnot, trying to reach them.
Okay,
I mean, I would suggest we can still generate that email list because it's helpful, but I would suggest that it's only 3 people we have. Just send an
Right.
email to follow up. I think it would be less confusing.
okay, I do agree with that. I think that sounds like the right way to go. I just want to make sure that people are receiving these emails so that they know that, hey, you've won an award, yay. And then, have you guys ever had it where somebody hasn't responded? And if so, what did you do?
We did, and we kept on contacting them. Not, maybe we reached out once or twice, and they normally do get back. Actually, I'm going to retract and say I did hear from all the 3 people I have emailed their approval letters to, saying thank yous to us, but they didn't necessarily RSVP. So
Okay. That,
Same here.
okay, I will look and I will take a look at that. Okay, so agreed then, we will all go for our own 3, just make sure that they acknowledged but RSVP'd as well. And then we can just move forward on that. So one of the questions that I had, and so Sally, I think you might be the person, I'm not sure who to ask on this. How do the certificates work? And what is the process?
I'll explain the citations and Suzanne can explain the certificates. So in the past, our state senators have been very generous to offer state citations to our grant recipients. And the offer always came from them. We didn't ask them to do it. somebody from their office would contact us and ask for a list of grantees so that they would generate those citations and bring them along with them to the grantee reception. And I'll let Suzanne explain.
In addition to the citations that were usually by one of our representatives, we would also present them with a certificate from NCC for their award. And we generate those every year. And normally they're given out together with the citation. So the certificate and the citation are two different things, although that they were given together to the recipient or mailed to them should they not, their actual physical pieces of paper, or mailed to them should they not attend.
Okay, but this year we're just going to have to mail everything.
Yes, that's fine. In the past, those who did not physically, were not able to physically join, we would get them to them.
Okay, so would it be safe to say that the ones coming from state legislators would be mailed directly from their office? Or is it something that like I need to go to someone's office and pick them all up? What is?
I would recommend that we mail them together. It would have a larger impact. So if they do offer, or we request and they accept, that one of us goes and picks them up, and that we combine them with their certificate from NCC and have a nice mailing to them individually. And I'd be happy to handle that if someone else who's had contact with our representative requesting their certificates can continue that stream of conversations.
Mm-hmm. The emails went out for me this year too, and I did not get any emails back from them offering citations as of today, but they may, and if we decide to request them, which we never have done in the past, I can try to request them too. And I believe they may have even mailed us to our town hall address the physical citations, like for whatever reason. I think last year, Suzanne, am I mistaken that they mailed them, or did they bring it? I think they had.
No, I think you had them mailed because you had them with you before they showed up.
I had them with me. Okay, all right. So yeah, so then we would
either works. Yeah. They can either mail it to us. I'll be happy to pick it up if they're willing to do it. And they may not think of it because they're not coming in person. So normally them being in person would dictate them handing something to a recipient. It's kind of like a natural response. Maybe because it's via Zoom, they're not thinking of it. And maybe this one year we do reach out to them and ask them. I think the recipients, some of them appreciated the citations, especially the individual artists, not the institutional ones, but it's nice from the individual local artists. Sylvia, you can speak more to that, but I thought that they appreciated both.
Oh, they're wonderful. I think everyone appreciated them. Very nice gesture.
So I would recommend that we reach out.
Okay, Sylvia, I am not sure how to do this, but I am happy to take that from you if you I think you need a break. Yeah, I think you have so many plates spinning in the air on sticks rather.
Terry,
I just don't know what the process is.
So we'll talk about the process. The process is really easy. They normally say that they would like to bring citations and they ask for a list of grantees. And Suzanne already has generated our certificates. We have a program that lists our grantees. So we list the grantee name and their event on a document for them, and they take that and they print citations. Terry, what I'll do is that I'll reply back and CC you this way, because the original email got to them from me, this way, they know what we're referring to, and then you can take over responding to them because you will be CC'd.
Okay.
Once they get back to us. But it's really easy. We already have the list. We give the grantee name and the name of their event or program, and they take care of the rest.
Okay.
And Terry, and just to add, I'll email you the list of the names and how the programs were written on the certificates so that they're the same. Sometimes some of the letters had to be moved around because it gets transposed from Excel spreadsheets. So just so it's uniform, I'll email
Okay.
you on the certificates.
Oh, beautiful.
And
Thank
if you'd
you.
like to change it, just let me know and we'll change it both ways.
No, whatever you have, I'm sure it's fine. It would be nice to be the same, though. Yeah, keep it consistent. I agree. This is fabulous. Oh, okay.
I think Vic wants to talk.
Oh,
No.
Vic, sorry.
Do we have addresses? So in the spreadsheet that I'm altering to add email, should we also add a column for addresses?
Yes.
Is that already there, or is it? I'm not even sure. Is it in the application?
It's in the panel book, Vic.
Is it panel book?
Yeah.
Right, so it's available somewhere.
Yeah.
We should populate into the spreadsheet so it's compiled in one spot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go in and fix the names there, Vic, the certificate names. I'll just add it to that spreadsheet for ease of use.
I'll make a column for certificate names, which is different from
Well,
the applicant.
sometimes
name.
the name is long and anyway.
Yep.
In that case, Suzanne, I'll wait for you to finish that so Terry and I can go like just send one email and one communication just to keep things simple with the list already attached. And if they decide to do citations, they'll already have the information ready to go. And then Terry, you can take over from that point. That will be a good transition. Yeah.
Hey, yep, perfect. I just didn't want to do anything when somebody had already done something or started something, and then it looks confusing, just disorganized and confusing. Okay, so good. All right. And then the dry run, we have that date set up, and it's for April. It's not next week, it's the week after. It is on the 5th at 6:30.
I just remember all of us rehearsing in the past. It was definitely fun to be able to hold that physically and set up the room and all that. I'm sure this version will be good too.
Just different, just really different. So everything is just going to be driven off the agenda in 1, 2, 3. Suzanne.
So normally the program is a printed item, and the presentation is an electronic presentation presented on the screen in the room. So this year, obviously, they'll all be electronic. I will try to do the first draft. I will do the first draft prior to the 5th, so way prior to the 5th. So when I commit for the 1st, so people have an opportunity to amend, change.
Okay.
And the RSVPs do change over time, and I have a way to just run in there and change who comes or doesn't come, because that is flexible. If there's any input for artwork, any particular look and feel this year, any particular branding we want, or even going back to previous year's branding, that's fine as well. Vic, if you want to work with me and let me know your thoughts on all that,
Okay.
I'd love it. Huh?
Yeah, okay.
Art on masks.
What was that, Sylvie?
Art on masks.
Unmasked. Were you also going to work on the program, or should we do that tonight? The program is basically the agenda, Terry. We need to
Okay.
come up with that before, or we can work it offline and share it with each other to sort of figure out who says what first, second, third,
Terry, also usually, you would introduce our purpose, why we gathered here that night, and you would kind of say something to the effect of explaining how arts and cultures have been here in our community and its impact in our community. And I think more than ever this year, it may be more meaningful to have something small prepared. If you're up, I mean, I don't want to create more work, but I
No,
think
this is important.
It is. I think Terry should say something. And do we have like a guest speaker? Do we want to talk about that?
So I've invited Julianne to speak, and so she is going to be one of our guest speakers. I don't know if any of the representatives will be available to speak.
So they normally jump in last second, and we're kind of ready for that. Suzanne does a great job delegating space for it in our program. And if it doesn't happen, we just skip ahead.
Okay, that was one of my concerns. Okay, you know, if there's enough people in a row, I guess we're going to keep Jim busy with, okay, if someone's not here or if they come in later, that we'll be skipping around. So, and I'd like to invite you guys to speak too. You know, if you want to say something or introduce yourselves, because who knows, it, you know, it may, maybe it becomes a neighbor of yours that says, hey, you know, I can volunteer, or hey, you know, I have this hidden talent for something, and decides to become, you know, jump out of their shell, out of this COVID shell, and do something further down the road. So, Vic.
I think we should all introduce ourselves, right? Because this is already impersonal as it is. So we need to kind of say a little bit more than just, you know, screenshots or whatever. So, and maybe, I mean, other than just my name, which they can read for themselves, that I'm Vic right on the screen, but maybe like why you joined or how long you've been on the council or whatever, you know.
I'm not doing that.
Lori.
If you would like to.
Okay, if you would like to, that's fine.
I like that. Quick question. Might it be helpful to go over last year's program as well as events, and then we can say when we want to do that or how we want to change, but maybe share a screen and bring that up.
I think that would be a great reminder for all of us how things went, and Terry can get a visual of, you know, what it's going to look like. Also, Lori, you can communicate in a different way and just post one of the artworks that you do. You know, that's fine. They can tell a lot about you too. You don't have to say something. We'll just flash one of your works.
I can bring up the, I can share the screen if you'd like.
Just don't put me on the spot. Just don't point at me and say something.
Notice, Lori, it's not on the spot. It's 2 weeks in advance notice.
No, still. I won't think about it. I'm not doing it.
Can I share the screen, Terry? And
yes.
Let me try to find it. I'm trying to get it. Just give me a second.
So my thought with introducing us, one thing I want to impress upon people is that you don't have to be an artist to appreciate art, just somebody in the community. And if you want to help, you know, great. So like Craig is good with money and likes to sing on the side, and Lori can draw, and Vic can draw, and Selby does all these amazing managing of people and knows people, and so all of that's so important. And so that's, you know, I don't want people to think that they have to be crazy talented in art to join in the fun. Okay.
Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay. So we usually up here, we just list everybody who attends, that we're kind of thankful for not attending, I'm sorry, that we list our thank you list of those people who have either contributed or in one way or another. Usually our representatives who attend, we list out specifically. And this is about who we are. Again, we make sure that MCC is prominently represented. This is our evening's event. We do it very, it's again in the PowerPoint, a little bit more expanded in the PowerPoint presentation, but on the program, so this will all be merged together, obviously, since we're all, but on the program, we listed our events, and these were those. We had our performance. We had Julian was kind enough to do our welcome address, then remarks, and then the value of arts, which was kind of like our NCC saying what it needed to say or wanted to say, another performance, and then the presentation of the certificates. So, and the year before it was pretty much the same. I think the performances were slightly different order, but the same sort of thing. So it's kind of how it normally flows. This year, are we thinking of doing the performances again? Have we heard back on that note?
Based on last meeting, we hadn't decided on what to do or how to do that. So I'm all ears if you guys have thoughts on that. I guess depending on how many people show or are able to attend, I'm hopeful that, maybe it's last moment, people are RSVPing and, 2 performances maybe. And then weave that in somehow, or toward the end, something maybe toward the beginning and maybe something toward the end. I was there last year. I don't remember all of this. I don't know, it just kind of went by in a blur.
So the 2 performances, we actually reached out and asked them to perform. So we did not wait for somebody to volunteer. We've never gotten a volunteer. So if we want performances, we need to go ask somebody actively.
Okay.
So we should at least have 1 person if, I don't know about 2, but, I don't know how long it's going to be. What do we have, an hour and a half?
Is that right?
So
I would definitely be with Vic's recommendation that at least 1, and maybe it's because it's virtual, we go from 2 to 1, but at least request 1 artist, maybe a musical, or I'm not sure what would fit best in this environment, but at least 1 artist to participate.
And then when you say an artist, because we're all on a screen here, I guess I want to narrow it down. Are you thinking, you're thinking more like musician or singing, or are you thinking
performance
like
lends best to Zoom, but I'm not excluding other possibilities.
We even had a magic show one year, which went really well. So it all depends on the year and the availability. And in this environment, it's kind of hard to guess what the artist may be able to do. But it could be anything. It doesn't have to be limited to music.
Okay.
I definitely think we should, maybe each of us take a moment offline after the meeting to think about what we think would work best on Zoom, what kind of performance art would work best, of all the ones that we have granted to. It's usually someone we've granted to. So, and maybe come back with some suggestions via email to each other, not on the call tonight, because it might take some looking through the list and thinking about how that might present on a Zoom call, and then make a list of several of them and see who's willing
and available. I guess that would be another consideration, live or something that's recorded. And then if we're doing recorded, then that file would need to go to Jim to be included in the agenda, and then he can just queue it up according to where we are in the agenda.
Yes. And then that sounds great. So let's do that. And I'm just going to kind of propel us forward a little bit, and then do give each grantee who is able to participate that evening a chance to introduce themselves and talk about their art and or projects. And so that's also a really nice engaging activity, actually. And maybe, I'm not saying that's how, we may just have that this year, I don't know, but that's also part of our overall grantee reception. And if we're not able to get a specific performer or performers, we may just stick with that format.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop sharing unless you want me to bring up the, I'm sorry for that email, that thread, but unless you want me to bring up the PowerPoint presentation.
Go ahead.
No, I don't have to. I'm just saying, I just wanted to really show you the events, the evening's events. And that's really it. And of course, it will all look different going forward because it will be integrated together. So, but this is kind of the feel of it.
Do you want me to help you work this part of the PowerPoint? Like just the names of the grantees and the evening event, like in the first slide here, while you do the major portion of the PowerPoint with the actual grantees.
Yeah, we can talk offline and do that. And talk about, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, I feel better about this already. Because I just don't remember the flow of how all of this worked. It feels so long ago.
Can I suggest that maybe when you ask the senators if they're going to present the certificates, that not present but provide that maybe I mean I know you did, but maybe remind them, are they going to speak? They should just let us know.
So it is on their invitation. We do ask them. So I think one of the senators already have said yes, that they would say.
Especially for that person's name.
So I will share that email back with you. Also, Lori is a fantastic editor. So she's been editing all of our work along with us. So really just, it all comes out so beautiful and so tight. Really
agreed.
Nice. Yep.
Okay.
We at least have one official person. That's good.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else in regards to this? Because I see our marching orders as reaching out for RSVPs, coming up with a program, and deciding on entertainment, and it would be 1 or 2. And it sounds like, were you guys more interested in something pre-recorded? No?
I think we should not limit ourselves. We should figure out who we think is the best who go through the list and who what grantee best fits the circumstances, and then reach out to make a list, reach out to them, and if possible, live, because that brings the energy of the event up. And then if it's not an option, of course, we can discuss other options, but I think that's how we should start. That would be my suggestion for starting the process.
Okay, I would like to have this be fun and exciting, and I don't know how different it is because everybody's doing Zoom, but just to have fun with this. So it's not just a typical meeting, that, it's interesting and different and fun, and hey, this is Northborough. And yeah, okay. I like that. So, yep, we can do some brainstorming on that. And does anybody have anything else? We're on our final agenda item. So you can let Craig know that it was very short tonight, Suzanne.
Yeah, well, he's traveling right now. I apologize.
I actually have one thing. So the 5th is our dry run. We have the link that is the panelist link, and we need to just ensure that we have another link for the attendees so that one of us can dial in as the attendee and see how that works. So Jim, where do we get this second link, or is it part of the first? Like how?
So I believe I've seen a link from Diane Rackle, but Jim can clarify that a little.
No, we have it. It's just Terry and I have it. So one of the questions is, I don't know that I can just forward to you, or you need to be officially invited, but
Yeah, so I believe the panelist, I can go into Zoom and I can add everyone's email in there, and that will send the panelist invite. For the attendee, I can send you an additional email with that as well. It's more in the format of an invitation, I believe, or just the link. The attendee link is what is usually posted on the agenda as well, since the attendees will join, and then the panelists will be the commission, and then whoever's speaking or whoever wants to share.
Okay.
Great.
So if you can send both links to all of us, then we can just figure out amongst ourselves who's going to play attendee and who's going to play, official.
Not a problem.
And Jim, is it correct to assume that you will be running the presentation for us?
So I can definitely run the presentation if that will be helpful for you. I can share my screen. I would just need a copy of the presentation beforehand to be able to download and everything. But if that's easiest for everybody else, then I'd be happy to.
What is the typical way you do it when you're running meetings, when these meetings are held?
So usually I don't do the sharing aspect. I just more provide technical and moving people over. So kind of how I'm imagining it is there'll be different groups of people speaking at different times. So we'll have everybody over as an attendee. And then when it's time for somebody to speak, then I'll move them over to panelists. And that will just kind of keep the viewing more clean, keep less squares out and everything. But again, I can go into more detail during our dry run.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Suzanne, if I may suggest, if you're comfortable about sharing your screen with the PowerPoint, but also sending a copy to Jim ahead of the event just as a backup. And if he, for some reason we're not able to do it, if he can then jump in, what do you guys think about that idea?
I think that's a wonderful idea.
That's a really good idea.
Technical issues or any other reason.
Just in case crazy happens.
Is a draft to the team or to the council by April 1st so that we can begin refining it as we need to.
Okay. And so that
Lori?
program or that what you're talking about, Suzanne, I just want to make sure I'm understanding, is that will drive who goes in what order.
Yes.
Okay.
It's usually alphabetical, but if there's a need for a difference, I've always done it in an alphabetical fashion, but I'm open. The other thing to think about on to-dos is understanding the situation with citations and certificates in time to have them physically present, have them emailed, snail mailed out so that people get this, which I would ideally like just prior to the reception. Okay. If possible, if that's possible, that would be ideal.
That is possible. So as soon as we have that column populated with certificate names, I can email the senators with Terry CC'd in it, and then we can move from there.
Okay.
Also, I'll start that tonight. I'll just do that tonight so we can get it done over the weekend.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. I think we are well on our way. This answered a lot of gray areas in my mind on how to do this, moving over from real to virtual, and this was really helpful. Does anybody else have any questions?
I do. I don't know who's keeping track of invitations from town. Lori, you sent those invitations out, right?
I did with RSVP to Terry.
Yeah. Okay. And we didn't hear anything back there.
The RSVP was Terry. I used the town. In many places, the town system. I did not use my own email, so there were in most places, yeah. So
and it's my own email on everything.
Yeah, it's
I haven't received anything back from anyone. And because Julianne was here tonight, I had sent her an email because I couldn't find where I had sent. I thought I sent, I'm not sure if I did. So I resent her an invitation. And so I cornered her tonight and she said, yes, she would speak. So we have one speaker.
You
We're the
didn't
best
corner
business
me
how we
at
meet.
all.
No, we
And
want
I'm
this to
happy
be.
to do it.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this. This
My
is great.
honor.
This is great. So wait to see all the grantees. It looks like we have an interesting year and some fun things ahead. And if everything goes well with COVID, you know, hopefully more stuff will happen sooner rather than later. But that remains to be seen. I guess that's it for tonight. You know, it sounds like there's going to be some offline working happening. And so I guess we just need to touch base next week and email and see what your thoughts are for people entertaining. But that's all I have.
I think one thing that's important is that we do reach out to our grantees who did not respond RSVP yet, the sooner than later, and build excitement, you know, just keep it going.
Yes, I think excitement's key, as well as a tad bit of obligation.
Yes, yes. Yep. Come join our fun. It'll be nice. It'll be nice for people to see each other and what's going on. So yes, push that point, please. And if nothing has, that's the end of our agenda tonight. Unless anybody has anything else, then do I hear a motion?
Motion that we adjourn.
Yes, okay. And so first from Suzanne, second from Vic. And so I will go across the board here. Lori.
Yes.
Okay, Suzanne.
Yes.
And Selvie.
Yes.
And Vic.
Yes.
And myself. That's it. So unanimous and